Well, welcome to our phishing and security awareness training webinar. Really appreciate everybody taking the time out to join us today. What we're going to do is we're going to go over some stats around phishing and cybercrime. And then we're going to jump into the demo of the platform and follow up with a Q&A after for any questions that you might have. So want to again thank everybody for taking time out today of their busy schedules to join us. So with me, I'm Anne Marie. I'm a security account manager at Ascend Technologies, and I have my partner who also is a security account manager, Chad Smith, with me today.
Hey, everybody.
Perfect. So we're just going to go over some stats. So I'm going to let Chad take it from here.
Thank you, Anne Marie. Hey, everybody. So the first slide here, as you guys can kind of see, is just some stats around phishing attacks and security in general. Some of the main takeaways here are, of course, 65% of organizations are going to experience a phishing attack in the United States. 94% of malware is delivered via email, and then the average time to identify a breach is 206 days, and the average time to contain a breach is 73 days. I think, one of the things to really look at here is, and what this identifies is that email is the most used attack vector by cyber criminals. 1 in 99 emails is a phishing email. So every organization out there is definitely getting hit and seeing this type of threat every day. The other thing too is just to take note is part of this is security awareness helps shrink the attacker's window of opportunity by creating human firewalls. So kind of keep that in mind as we go through this. And then of course, on the next slide, this is just a little bit of information. Phishing's nothing new. The first attack was actually with AOL back in 1996. And for some of you that can remember, they've got hit so much and so many times by these attacks that they actually added to instant messenger the saying, AOL will never ask for passwords or personal information. So even back then, the phishing attacks were a nuisance and a threat, and they had to cause different changes in policies by AOL. So on the next slide, you'll see that is going to talk about money and just some of the effects of phishing and those kinds of things. Cybercrime has become an extremely profitable business, if you want to call it that. With there's a very low risk of getting caught and a high probability of success, and it obviously pays. So as this continues to rise, we'll see an increase in frequency and complexity in both the types of attacks, the emails they're creating. These guys are getting really good. I mean, some of the things that they're doing and some of the strategies. So just don't expect that to change any. One of the big things to note here, obviously, I would say the main takeaway is, it's up $54,000 from one quarter to the next. So, the higher that number gets and the more profitable it gets, the more we're going to see this rise and continue. On the next slide, we're going to talk about the COVID impact. So obviously, cyber criminals are opportunistic, so they love to take advantage of any type of threat, any type of global situation. We saw this with 9/11. We've seen this with, multiple events all over the world. And so COVID, of course, is going to cause a massive spike in cybercrime and breaches. Hackers like to use these types of situations to exploit people's vulnerabilities, and they do this through spear phishing. So with COVID, you're going to see a huge rise in these emails of, make this donation, or this is going on, or this is from the CDC, all those types of things. And so be on the lookout for those. That's really just kind of give you guys a little heads up. Also, one of the things too that we're seeing that's a kind of a little more of a non-direct situation is where with work from home and the fast changes in many of these companies' operations, caused by COVID. Security was often put took a back seat, or was placed on the back burner. So hackers know this is companies were scrambling to change their networks, get people out, get laptops out, all those kind of things, where all the network guys and the executives are sitting in a room going, hey, we gotta do this, we gotta do that, and the security guys are all sitting in the back raising their hand going, hey, we need to think about this, or what about this, and everybody just ignores it and they keep going. So hackers know this, and they're going to use it to their advantage. One of the things here I would highly recommend, and our team does, is get a pen test at some point pretty soon. Get us, if you've made these transitions, or a cyber risk assessment, something along those lines, some vulnerability scans. Stay on top of all that stuff, because I know oftentimes when companies make fast changes and transitions, that we need to come and take a step back and circle back and make sure that all the security is up to date. It'll protect you guys in the long run. So the next slide is going to really cover the cost of cybercrime. Once again, the numbers are rising. That not a big thing here, as far as just they're going up, and it's costing businesses a lot of money. So we're going to continue to see that trend, and it's just growing leaps and bounds. So next, I'll just turn it back over to Anne-Marie. She's going to run you guys through a demo. If you have any questions, feel free. Be sure and take the poll, and we look forward to showing you guys the product.
All right, perfect. Really appreciate that, Chad. So I'm going to show you the demo of the platform, and then also give you an idea of the free phishing assessment that we're going to provide for you, how we can customize a template to your organization. So I create one up for ours, and your security managers will work with you in making it look like as stealthy as possible for your organization. But we'll dive into that more when we get to the phishing portion. So this is really your dashboard. So this is an overview of what is going on in your organization. So right here, you see your risk score. And what that is, this feature provides actionable insights and metrics to help you understand the attack surface of your organization. So you'll be able to see at the risk score, you can see that by the whole entire company, or you can even drill down into departments. Obviously, there's going to be certain departments going to have a higher risk score, like your accounting, than sales. Here is an overview of your phishing campaigns. Now, this is going to show you your last 6 months. And as you can see, the black line is your phish prone percentage, and we want to see it going down. Now, the things that we track track clicks, if they enter in data, if they reply to an email, if they open an attachment, or if they enable a macro. We can also track reported phishes also. So, a lot of times organizations want to have the top 5 people in the organization that don't click on anything, and maybe have a prize or a contest around it, and kind of make it fun for them. The other thing we have here is industries, because all industries are not created equally. The healthcare industry does get hit 4 times more than any other industry, and that's because of PII. That data is very valuable on the dark web. Actually, PII can go anywhere from $100 to $1,000 for one person's personal identifiable information. So that's why it's so lucrative. So we're going to go into banking for demo purposes. You can do this by company size also. So if you're a small bank, 200 users or less, if you're medium, 250 to 1,000, or large. And then you can see what the phish prone percentage is. Let's go into medium here. So banking is pretty low. It's only a 4.3%. That's over a year. But let's look at the baseline. So look, they started at, for their baseline was 36.5%. And as you can see over a year, this is where we want to get you to. So we really want to get you down to just above 4% for a phish prone percentage, which was really, really low in an organization. So again, we have all the different industries that you can go through and filter it to what matches your industry. Right here, we have our phish alert button. This is a really great feature because what this does is an add-on into your end user's inbox. And what it does is it's going to track simulated or non-simulated phishing emails. So what they do is if they think it's a phishing email or if they're not sure, they can click that button. It's going to take it out of their inbox. Most of our customers will set up a separate like incident response team email, and it'll direct it right to that email box and with the same header so the IT team can analyze it and let them know. So what's going to happen on your end users when they actually click that, if it's a simulated, they'll have a pop-up. So thank you for recognizing that simulated email. You're protecting our network. And we can also change the verbiage. And if it's non-simulated, it'll also, you can have a pop-up. Thank you for reporting this for your IT team. And then this is just an overview of the training. So you can see what campaigns are running and what progress that they are in each campaign. So again, this is just an overview of the main metrics of your platform. So the first thing we're going to do is going to phishing, because what we're going to do is start with a baseline phishing test. This is going to show your last 5 phishing campaigns. And this is going to show you browsers that were used. So if they were on an Internet Explorer or Chrome and Android, you're going to be able to see that data. Okay, we're going to drill in down into some reporting. Here you can see the campaigns that you were running. You can see a snapshot what the phish prone percentage was, when it was ran last, how many days you ran it, if it's still pending or if it's a closed campaign. So we're going to look at the initial campaign. Right here, you can see that it was a 29.4% phish prone percentage. You sent it out to 538 users. If you want to see the email that you sent out, you click here, and then you can see the email that was sent to your end users. This is going to show you your failures in real time. So most of your end users are going to click in the first 8 hours. But we're also going to track failures by day, because you might have some people that are on vacation or just have a really full inbox and can't get to it. And then this is going to show you by IP location. Now, before, when we were all before COVID working in different offices, if you had different office locations, you would see that. Now, pretty much with remote, you're going to see them all over because everybody's working from home. Now, this is a report that you're automatically going to get. So after the campaign ends, this report you will get. And what would happen then is our security team or managers will have a follow-up call with you and really dive into the report with you, and then recommend what the next steps would be as far as training after we get your baseline done. You can also drill into this report and get further data, but I'm going to show you on another screen because it's kind of hard to see here. So I'm going to go into users. Now here you can see who we sent it out to. You can see if it was delivered, if they opened it, if they clicked on the email, if they opened an attachment, or if they entered data. And we can even drill even farther into this. And again, the report that we sent you, you're going to have all this data also. So you can see the date and time, the IP address, the location, the browser, the version, and the operating system that they were using when they were clicking on these campaigns. Now we're going to go into templates. The great thing is we have over 5,400 templates, so you never have to create your own. But if you wanted to, we do have the capability of doing that. And then they do come in every language. So if you're a global company, we already have in every language. And then if you did want to make changes to a template, all we would do is just go in here, and then we would change the template this way, and we can make any changes that you would want. So I'm going to show you another category that we have, and it's called our security hints and tips. And what we can do is say that you want to send out a newsletter to your end users. So we can set this up to be either a bi-weekly or a monthly newsletter. Again, we'll have your branding, your logo all over it. And it just kind of gives them some more security hints and tips to help strengthen that cyber hygiene of theirs when it comes to real threats that are going on in the world. It's surprising, we did a survey and of all of the companies, and 70% of employees do not even know what ransomware is or phishing. So, which I get it, because before I got into cybersecurity 5 years ago, I had no idea what it was either. So your average end user has no idea. So these are our templates. Another we have is the current event of the week. This will change every week. So we can also set this up, which is really neat. We can either set it up every week as either a phishing template, or we can even set it up as like another newsletter. And it's always going to have the updated thing of what's going on in cybercrime during that week. So these are our landing pages. And as you can see, we have over 153 landing pages. Again, we can modify any landing page. We can create new ones. I do like this category, and we do say use with caution, because you might not want to send this out to the CEO, but maybe you do. But I'm sure everybody remembers WannaCry. This is the landing page. So when they click on that phishing email, this is what would show up. Obviously, it's, this was just a test, but if I had this, I'd be like, oh my God, what did I do? So, you can get kind of tricky with them with that. And then we also have what we call our point of failure courses. So if they want, they have in the moment training. So again, they click on that phishing email and it automatically has like a little course, maybe a 5-minute course for them. Now we're going to go into reports. This is like the first screen that you saw, but now you can dive even deeper into this report. So our reporting is really granular. We can look at it from the last 6 months, the entire history, week to date, month to date, last month, year to date, or custom date. We can filter this all by all phishing campaigns, or we can do it by certain campaigns. And then again, we can do this all users, or we can do it to certain groups. Not only is phishing big, but also we know that spear phishing is huge right now. So we can do that. We can set up different campaigns to your accounting team if you want, and then we can set up different ones for your sales team, because we can have as many campaigns running at one time. So we can also emulate what real hackers are doing with spear phishing attacks. And we can also do this by failures, or if you wanted to see it by report it. This is going to show you all of your end users that are in your organization, and it's going to filter them from the highest phish-prone percentage down to the lowest. And then you can also see we delivered 8 of them. So Wen had 20 failures, 6 clicks, 1 reply, 7 attachments, and she entered in data to 6, or entered data into 6. So what this is any one of these is going to count as a failure. So a click would be a failure. If she replied to it, would be a failure. If she opened an attachment or entered in her data, those are all going to count as failures, because those are all actions that she had done. Now we're going to go and show you how we're going to do a baseline. So we're going to set the baseline up. We're going to do it to all users. We're going to do it one time. We're going to send the campaign send the emails when the campaign starts. And then what I did really quick, and then we would go in and select the category and all that and create the campaign. What I did is I actually created a campaign for a send. And this way you can see kind of what it looks like. So one thing I wanted to show you in here, and let me jump back really quick. We have what we call a social engineering landing page. And the reason why we created this is because our customers were saying, our end users were clicking on these emails, but they don't know what to look for. They don't know what to identify in them. So what we have is, this is Ring Central. Okay, a lot of people use this. Click here. And then what's going to happen is, this is again real in the moment training. This is going to help strengthen your end users' cyber hygiene when it comes to these types of things, because what they do, this would be the landing page they get. And again, we can go ahead and customize this, put in your branding. But what they do is they hover over this email domain is strange or suspicious. Hover over the link. Link does not take you to the site, and the email content says it will. So these are great. Again, tied to any email template that we have. let's see if we have Waze. Who doesn't love Waze? Click here. Again, they have our email domain is spoofing a popular website, a well-known organization. Ambiguous salutation, sense of urgency. And then hover over the link. The link does not take you to the site, the email contents it will. So I will tell you this by far is our most used landing page because it does give them that in the moment training. So we would recommend using that after we do your baseline. So your baseline, we're going to do completely different. And I created a custom template. Why we're creating campaigns. So your baseline is going to be sent out when the campaign starts. Your ongoing campaigns, let's say we're going to call it your first campaign. Again, we're going to send it to all users. Now, this one we can either send up bi-weekly or monthly, however you want to do it. We do suggest at least monthly in the beginning, so they can, really kind of get used to getting these simulated phishing emails so they know what to look for. And then what we're going to do is we're going to send it over how many business days and hours. So we're going to define your business days and hours of your organization. So if you're open, Sunday through Sunday, 24 hours a day, that's what we want to set the campaign to, because we want to make sure that we get everybody in your organization, not just the people that are working 9 to 5, because we really want to get to see what that fish prone percentage is. Because like I said, your baseline is your most crucial campaign that we can run, because that's going to be your starting point. That way we can see, okay, this is where we started or as an organization, and now we know where we need to get to. A few things I want to show you down here is we have our full random and our random. Now our random is going to send the same email to all users, and that's what we want to do for that baseline, because we're going to make it look really stealthy, and you'll see that in a minute. But then for our ongoing ones, we don't want to do that, because what happens is if everybody gets the same email, and it's not so much now after COVID, but before COVID, you could warn people in your organization. So we work in an open office environment. If I got a phishing email, I could warn probably 30, 40 people around me within minutes, don't click on it, it's a phishing email. And it's just our human nature to do that. So with the full random, it's going to take out all of the categories that we have over here. So as many categories that we pick over here, it's going to filter all of those in this category. And then if you come over here, you'll be able to see them all. And what it will do is it's going to send a different email to different people at different times. So I might get an HR on Monday. Hank might get an IT on Friday. Maybe Chad gets a LinkedIn on Wednesday. And we call that the prairie dog effect. So it eliminates that from happening. And that really is going to give you a true number of what your phishing tests look like, because they can't warn each other. And that's what we want. We want a true number. And then if you go down here, we have them by difficulty. So 1 would be your most basic, 5 would be your most advanced. So that's going to be your most stealthiest one. Again, we want to make sure that we are emulating exactly what a cyber criminal would do. Maybe your first one, you might want to say, let's just send out a basic one, or maybe basic and limited. Maybe you just like, what? Let's send out all categories and see who fails on what. So we absolutely can do that. And again, we're going to manage this all for you, so you don't have to worry about managing everything. We'll just work with you on, how you want it to look. We'll run it, you'll get the report, and then we'll follow up with you and talk about next steps. So now I'm going to go into email templates, and I'm going to go into the one that I created. This is the one that we recommend sending out. It's very basic, but it doesn't have to be a lot to be stealthy. And it really does work. So as a part of ongoing efforts to maintain regulatory compliance, we've updated our password policy. We need everyone to check their password immediately. We can do, if your IT has a certain branding, we wanted to make it look identical to how it would be within your organization. Then we go and check password. Again, we can change the colors. So it looks like it's coming within your organization. Go in here. Now, remember, When they enter in data, that's going to be another failure. We don't store that information. We don't want that type of information. We do scrub the form fields. We just want to know, are they doing that second action? Check password, and then boom. Thank you for checking your password. There's no further action needed on your part. Thank you for helping keeping our network secure. So this is what we're going to send out for your baseline. If you want the free baseline test, this is the email that we will send out. And then we'll run it for how many days you want to track that activity, and then we'll follow up with you on next steps. So that is our phishing portion of the platform. And now we're going to go into training, because after we send out that baseline, the first thing we want to do after that is send a training to all of your employees. Even if they didn't fail on that one, we still want to send training, because there could be other emails that they click on. So this is going to go over your training campaigns. So you're going to be able to see which ones are running, just like the phishing, and what percentage they're complete. Let's go ahead and click on our baseline. So in here, you can see that you're at 73% complete. This campaign was running for 3 weeks, and you sent it out to 537 users. So now we can go into our users and really drill in to see who started, how much time they spent, how much time they have remaining, and their completion. Once they complete it, they do have the opportunity to download a certificate also. Another cool feature is the assessment results. Now, this is very imperative, actually, because what it does is it lets you see your average score of your organization, of what they're doing on the different types of training. So you can see internet use, they were really good. Your average score is a 78, not bad. Security awareness, not so great. You're on at a 62 score. Social media, 32%. So you can really see what type of training you need to focus on.
Yeah, and Anne-Marie, I'd like to just take a second here,
Sure.
just to kind of point out something as well, how you can get a little more, more out of these types of reports. So what our security analysts do is they take these, and you can look at these. So for example, look at social media. So if you're getting a pretty high percentage on social media, maybe you need to take a look at your policies and your procedures all the way out to your firewalls, and maybe limit some restrictions on there, different things like that. So we can make recommendations on that when we manage these types of things, and kind of get very granular. So really being able to see the employees' work patterns and click habits, and make the, it allows us to be able to make recommendations to make adjustments across your organization. And then you'll be able to lower your overall risk. So that's kind of really just another way to gain value out of these reports.
Perfect. Thank you, Chad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we're going to go into our notification templates. Again, we're going to set these all up for you. And, you know, nowadays, everybody that's new to an organization has some type of training. So your end users will get a notification saying, welcome to Ascend. This is your training that you need to take. We can also send a reminder after enrolled, and reminder before due date. So they could say, you know, you have 5 days left to take your mandatory training. One thing I will say with new users, I was listening to another webinar with some pen testers, and they had said that most cyber criminals, which is true, and pen testers, what they do is they go after your new employees and organizations, and it's really hard to, or it's really easy, I'm sorry, to see who that is, because you can go on LinkedIn, and I get them, and I'm sure everybody else does, you know, notifications of so-and-so started a new job at this organization. So they really do try to target your new users. But moving on to notifications, we can also send notifications to their managers or the admins that are running that have access to the console. So say salespeople, they never want to do their training, right? They can send a notification to our sales manager that, you know, so-and-so hasn't completed their training. They only have this many days left. And then we can also send it to the admin. So everybody's on the same page of who's doing the training and who hasn't. Now, these are policies. So if you have policies that you need your end users to acknowledge, this will come at the end of the training. So what happens is, and I'll show you in the report, after they do the training, there'll be a little check mark to say that they have read and acknowledged your company policy. So a lot of times some companies need this for compliance purposes. So we do have that capability of uploading any of your policies into the training for you. Now, this is the reporting. Again, we have very granular reporting with our training. You can see who's logged in and who hasn't. And then we can drill this down by courses. So, we'll go into the Kevin Mitnick course. So here we can download a CSV for you. We can see who started the course, who hasn't started the course, who's completed, if they neither have completed or started. And then you can also see that policy. So have they acknowledged the policy or have they not acknowledged the policy? So you can get really granular with that. We can look at all users, or you can just do by departments, or however you want to define that, we can do that. Because with your users, when you upload users, just to give you a little bit of that information, for your free phishing test, what we're going to do is probably just get a CSV file from you. That's the easiest way. But if you become a customer, then what we do is we also have an AD integration, which is a really great feature because it's a one-way sync. Whenever you add somebody into your AD, it will automatically sync over to the platform. So we'll know that you had somebody new added into your organization, and then we can send out that training for them. So again, we're going to manage that all for you. Any changes that you make in your AD do not affect the console, or any changes we make in the console does not affect your AD because of the one-way sync, which is really nice. So that's going to take us into the mod store. And right here, this is going to show you all of the content that we have. And we have over 1,100 pieces of content. And this consists of training modules, games. Gamification is really big right now. Videos, newsletters, and security docs, posters, artwork, and assessments. Again, we can brand the newsletters and security docs and posters and artwork for you. This is going to show you all of the topics that we can filter by. If you have compliance, we do have compliance modules. And, again, after we do that phishing security test, we do that first security training for your end users. I do recommend doing the 45-minute. It really does speak to your uneducated end users. And as your phishing campaigns are ongoing, we can really tailor your training to what they failed on, because it's a lot of content to go through. We don't expect you to know that. That's why we're here. We know what's in there, and we can really work with you and say, this is what they failed on. This is a training that we would recommend. So we really, do all that for you. And then if you have, this is where we can brand any of the content with your branding and your logos. And say that you already have content that you have, your HR might already have some videos that they want to upload. We can upload your content into the console, and we can add those to campaigns for training. Now, I wanted to show you this. This is what your end user sees. So they don't see the console. Obviously, that's just for admins and for us to manage it for you. But this is what they're going to see. So they're going to be able to see their phishing test results, and they can kind of drill in further in there. They can see what their own personal risk score is in the company. And then they can see the training that they still need. So I can go into training. And then this is going to show me the training that I still need to complete. The great thing about our training modules is they are self-paced. Obviously, the 45-minute, nobody really can sit through that. So we broke it down in 10-minute 4 modules. So wherever they leave off, they can pick up back again. So it remembers where they left off. And another great thing is you can actually, if you want, we can embed a survey in. So you can really see what they think of the training. Do they like the training? So we can attach that to every training module. Oh, see, I've earned 3 badges. How about that? So that is our training portion. Now we're going to go into phishing really quick. And this is just the same as phishing, but it's done by voice IP. We can either do your phishing campaigns to a dedicated line or even a cell phone. This is going to show your last 3 campaigns. And these are all of the templates that we have. We have over 260. And again, we do have this in different languages. So we can, if you're global, we do have global phishing capabilities. So I'm going to go into the campaigns and just kind of give you an idea of what it would sound like. So here you can see the phone number that was used, if it was completed, and if they failed, and then if they entered in the digits. So let me see if you can hear that.
Hi, this message is to notify you that we're currently upgrading your phone system. You must enter a PIN so that we can upgrade your phone. Please enter your new 4-digit PIN now. Please enter your current PIN as confirmation. Thank you. Your phone system has been upgraded. Goodbye.
So again, that's one of the templates. We do have a bunch of templates in there, but that is basically what it would sound like for your phishing. And the reason why we add new features, we added phishing and we added USB. Again, I'm going to go, that'll be the next one we go into, but we need to make sure that we are staying up to real world threats, right? Because your training has to be up to date, your templates have to be up to date, and your platform needs to be able to inoculate your end users like cyber criminals do. So USB was one that we added. And before COVID, what we would do is, you have the USB drives, you put a name, a location, and any notes. So your name would be enticing, Q4 layoff, locations, where did you put them, and any notes that you wanted to attach to it. So you might want to put them in parking lots, bathroom, to any high traffic area. So that was before COVID, right? So we'll talk about after COVID, what they're doing now. But I would recommend, if you do the USB, that you enable a macro, because if you enable a macro, you're going to get the IP address, the location. You're also going to get the username, display name, and computer name. And the reason why we did this is because before COVID, if I found a Q4 layoff in the parking lot, I'm not going to go back to work. I'm going to go home and see if I'm on that list. And if you enable the macro, you are going to be able to see all this information. So you would be able to see that. But Chad was on an interesting webinar, and he can tell you what's happening after COVID.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Yeah, so I was actually attending the InfraGard meeting last month, where the FBI had warned of some advanced phishing attacks using USB drives. And I thought this was really interesting, and just kind of shows how quickly hackers adjust to different situations. So what these hackers are doing is they're using social media, LinkedIn, all those resources to gather people's information, like what company, their name, position, and then they go and, of course, find their home address, which is pretty easy to do. And then they simply just take a USB loaded with malware, drop it in an envelope, put in, and take maybe a letterhead and create some kind of letterhead and put it in there that says, hey, this is from the, such and such from the IT department, and we're performing an upgrade, and we need you to insert this flash drive. And they'll drop that in a mailbox, and sure enough, it'll go to somebody that's in a work from home situation. They'll open it up and say, "Oh, okay, Steve from IT needs me to do this," and they stick it in there, and then of course it starts the malware then is uploaded, and the process is started, and you're potentially breached. So just to kind of that's just a good way to kind of point out that. These hackers are very, very, very sharp, and they come up with very, very interesting ways to exploit different situations.
Perfect. Thank you, Chad. So now we're going to go into our final, and this is our security awareness program. And what we did for we call it ASAP. And you're going to answer 21 different questions, I believe it is. And what's going to happen is it's going to fully put out a mature security awareness program for you that we are going to manage. So we can also, if you need to get buy-in from your C-level or a board or leadership, we can download an executive summary for you. But then again, this is going to show you in time what we're going to do. So it shows you when we're going to send out your phishing campaigns, when we're going to do your training campaigns. And this way you kind of on track of everything that we're doing for you. So that brings us to the end of our platform. So this is the last thing I wanted to show you, and for your free assessment. This is basically where your initial across the board where you would start. And most companies are up around 37%. As you saw, the banking was at 34. In 3 months, we're going to get you down to about 14%. And within 12 months, just over 4%. And that is an average of all of our customers of where we have them at. So again, we're going to do that free phishing assessment and then work with you on the next steps on your training campaigns. And if you did want to become a customer, we'll manage everything for you and work with you every step of the way. Chad, did you have anything to add before we go into a Q&A?
Sure. I just had a few quick kind of takeaways and things. Definitely one of the things I'd say, the benefit of using a managed platform is, it's obviously going to free up your engineers for other tasks. You're going to get recommendations from, top tier security analysts, our SOC team and those guys, and kind of, get some info in there of what's going on across everyone's environment, as well as, the example I showed where, social media, maybe we need to make some changes in policy or to some of the technologies deployed in your environment. And then, phishing and security awareness programs, they're most successful when performed with frequency, creativity, and strong planning. So keep that in mind when you're going forward. One of the other things too, Anne Marie actually showed a great example of the Waze template. With the holidays coming up, there's going to be a huge upswing. So regardless, keep your eyes open for FedEx, Amazon, UPS type phishing emails. They'll send an email that says, hey, this is FedEx. We've had a problem with your package. Click this link. So, that's going to be a huge red flag there. So keep your eyes open for those, and that's the type of example that she showed is a very good template for what those are going to be moving forward around the holidays. And then, finally, phishing and cybersecurity awareness they're a crucial part of a multi-layered, discipline involving technology, policies, procedures, and people. So with each one of those supporting and kind of protecting the other, to create fail-safes across your organization. So the goal is to shrink the attacker's window of opportunity. And, that's pretty much all I have. So if anybody has any questions or anything like that, feel free. And
one last thing that I always piggyback on, I tell my customers, I said, you need to look at your end users one of two ways. Give them the training and the tools they need. They become your best defense and your last defense against cybercrime, because it stops with them being able to know what and what not to click on. Or if you don't train them, they will remain your biggest threat to your organization, because we all know it only takes one person to click on a phishing email to infiltrate your whole entire organization.
Yeah, absolutely.
So any questions? Okay. Well, if there are no questions, there was a poll sent out to see where you think your organization lies compared to industry benchmarks. If anybody wants to share that information, if they were higher, if they were lower than they thought.
Perfect. And we'll, as a follow-up, expect an email from somebody on the Ascend team to get you set up with your free phishing seminar, and we'll go from there.
All right. Well, if there's no questions, I appreciate everybody's time today. Thank you for joining us, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.